problem, ironing out the political, ironing out the community, ironing out whatever problem they have, because it's crumpled. You need to iron out things, you see. So this is what he tried to translate. And what's interesting about this is the old wood. And you know Iskandar work is a very trademark. You know that it's Iskandar work. So that's a short brief on Iskandar. Yeah.
I had a chat with him. He said, Iskandar, this work is very distinct. So yes, he calls it ironing out. I said, Jeff, yeah, every day we have problems, we have troubles, we have this, we have that. Once I start to get into my portrait, I get to do my work, and this is, I leave all my troubles behind. And this is it, ironing out. So, very interesting. I think it also applies to us. You know, sometimes we, as an artist, go one corner, escape for a while, you know, get into the zone, you know, to relieve ourselves, like a meditative and all that. Very, very interesting pieces, because not many of these pieces comes together with a dedicated piece of, we call it plank, and it becomes quite neatly down with this carved area. Very, very, very subtle. The rest of his works are all the recent works, specially named for certain texture and aesthetics of the plot. We have the kadut, we have the halus, we have the garis, and we have the jawi. So if you look at the range of Iskandar's work for this year, these are the 2013 most recent works.
Yeah, okay. So that is Iskandar. This is Huda Fauzan, been with us also almost 1 year, and new exhibition. He's a hardcore realism guy, so he looked through what the society, what the community in the market in Bali. You see this in Jogja, you see this in the third world country. So there is an iPad. I mean, she's into technology. I mean, she's just a laborer, you know, selling plastic or garbage, but save the money to buy the Apple. So she's into technology. So there's a lot of negative space, and the focus is on this lady. And the technique he used, using this palette knife with very thickened oil painting. So I think it's quite literal and easy to understand. Yeah. So next we go to another artist. We found him at Emily Hill, so tell us about the street and this is Alex. Yeah.
I'm basically a kid at heart. I love colors, but as a kid, you want to break it all down, take the blocks, and build something that is impossible. Cobalt blue, orange on the side. Putting colors back where they don't belong, that's fun. That's the kid, okay? Challenging. For this event, I painted oranges, because oranges, Mandarin oranges, they are plentiful during Chinese New Year. But they also represent luck. And this is their first anniversary. I wanted to give them a lot of luck. But what kind of luck? Golden, bountiful luck. It looks like a mountain. I called it Silver River, Gold Mountain. Something along the crouching tiger.
Hidden tiger. Hidden dragon.
So that's it. So lots of luck, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of luck. A lot of. Okay, next. Another interesting work is also we seldom bring pencil, graphite works and mixed media. Rofi, his subject matter usually is portrait, yeah? Pieces, yeah. I think this is his wife, yeah? And there's a certain techniques how Rofi want to express. So I saw a bit of cubism here, the technique of using the shade. So that is a technique. Rofi, see?
Just from here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I like you said, I do a lot of faces, but a lot of people mistake my works for portraits. They're actually not portraits, although I use often my wife and myself as subjects. That's because I can't afford a model anymore. But they're not meant to be portraits. I use faces more as a vessel to carry a message, a metaphor, whatever I'm trying to say about spirituality or politics or whatever what's going on currently. But I use them as vessels to carry that message. In this piece, it's made out of charcoal drawing and a color pencil drawing. The charcoal represents the reality, and the color pencil represents the conscience. So the idea behind this piece is that this is about grappling with or coping with past experiences, whether they be difficult or painful experiences, and how you cope with those. While you're trying to get out of that, you may recover, but there will always be remnants of the past, of your experiences still trapped in your mind, no matter how hard you try. It doesn't mean that person is being weak. That person may actually become stronger, and that's how I try to portray the face as a strong face, that you build on your experiences and you become stronger.
Okay, the next one is Su Mei. We met her through a friend. She based in Australia. Yeah, Perth. Yeah. So this is one of her early works. I think it's quite understand. It's quite. But the deeper meaning of this is that the title is Lotus series. I don't know how many series we have, but this is one of the latest series. I mean, technically it's really there. But lotus in Buddhism, they symbolize something. Yeah, lotus in Buddhism, they symbolize something. I think that he tried to, because if it's early work, her newer works are more Zen, more abstract. So we get hold one of her works during our Lux Museum, and it's quite huge. It's black and white, so there is a certain spiritual input also. Usually artists do have that kind of feeling in their psychology of work. So the latest work is very, very Zen. It's two pebbles, black and white, and there's some writings on it. So it's not here. It's at our studio in Emily Hill. One day we'll tour to our art space in Emily Hill. Okay, next is Daryl. Daryl is one of the upcoming young emerging artists. He explore. What I like about Daryl is his exploration. Again, the younger ones are more daring, whereby the 40 and 45 above try to play safe, a bit of safe. You see, maybe because of the crossroad, midlife, maybe. But for the younger one, yes, I expect to see this work in the market, but whether the audience are ready to receive that. But then again, it's still a argumentation. There's still a discussion about that. It's always subjective. And yeah, Daryl, so it's your turn.
Hi, alright, this is my work that I exhibit today, and this is part of a series that I'm exploring the metaphor of a frame. And this frame is not just confined to your photo frames that you see here. This frame is also all about your television screens, the windows that you open every morning, the camera lenses that all of you are looking through, the space between skyscrapers that you see all around our neighborhood as well. So what I feel very importantly and interesting is what happens when all these frames become fluid. What happens when it is not as solid as usual, and the play of real versus fantasy comes into play. So that is what I'm exploring in this body of work. Yeah.
Okay, so Valerie is one of the Colorful Chaos, one of the artists, Naskaya, Valerie, and this Lusa. So this is one of her latest work titled Hilo Flow. So she likes to use textures. That is a similarity of technique in using oil with texture, try to create texture within the texture. So you can see here, it's purely oil, and you can see the movement again. You see in this presentation of hanging of the work, there is a storyline. If you can see the flow, that follow the contour. You see that is a balance and harmony when come why we hang this way. Yeah, this is Valerie's work, the latest work. Yeah. So the other one is another young upcoming artist, Luis Yang. I think he will be the next. Hopefully, I hope, because that was I was told our teacher Cheng Siok Tin, she's also blind now. Quite sad. So he talked to Louis about make sure you carry on with the printmaking in Singapore, because it's a tedious medium. I guess it's very difficult medium, very troublesome. You have to buy that machine, you have to roll, you have the ink, you know. That not so many young artists would like to do that, because it's too much hassle rather than the conventional one. Take the brush and paint on the brush. It's too conventional. But again, it's still subjective. Wait, so please explain your, kindly explain your work.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, this series it's happened to be a joke among the discussion with me and my friends. We are talking about if you want to fit in a group in our society, we have to be the same among them. So if you want to try to be like some superheroes or something special, will you be considered normal or the reject, like some will cheat or what?
Okay. Thank you. I think this technique is very rare now. I was in school. I think I took out this. Very interesting. But I have to choose one medium, you know, which is the easiest way out. Not actually. So the next one is Pak Idris. Yeah. Pak Idris is our veteran local artist. He specializes in watercolor, in buildings and tourist spots. And now, what's interesting about this? He used pen and ink, ballpoint. I think the old ballpoint, and also the Chinese ink, where he makes this technique, and it's quite straightforward technique. Right, Mr. Idris. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we continue with the rest. So she likes to paint. She's very famous in painting local scenes. Yeah. So this is last year. This year.
Watercolors is his forte.
Yeah.
But there is a very distinct way that he does the painting in work. Yeah. Very interesting, and it's very rare. So he does portraits in 10 minutes. You know, and just with the power of the pencil. He's also an illustrator. He's one of the... Oh, he's calling. Okay, never mind. Later we ask Pak Idris to have it, so you can have a chat.
So every artist, what interesting about being an artist, I think they have their own interpretation. Again, it's subjective. Individual interpretation. So I think we have to respect in that sense. So next is from ex-last also. Now, here. Yeah, you have to teach, I guess. So this one of the few medium that another young artist would not like to go in, because it's a glass artist whereby you need to have keen, a built keen, and then you have to have timing, a lot of process. The methodology takes a journey, takes a long time to do. I don't think the younger generation, younger artists would like to do this. It's very, very tedious and it's expensive. So when, like I say, she got the guts to go into that and try to bet on that. I think she's one of the local famous glass artists, and very rare in Singapore. Now that is Encore. She is from LaSalle. So these are few LaSalle students back then, and Brother Joseph McNally was there. So now they have a big black LaSalle. Yeah. Okay, next. Oh yeah, this is so. Anyway, this is so fresh from the oven. We was in our studio, so the person came, and that's it. She can relate to Jeffrey drawing. So Jeffrey, please. Like to explain to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I enjoy drawing and creating artwork. Portraits. I love portraits and I love buildings because I'm an architect myself. I have this. Sometimes my wife says that I have this thing about with buildings. You know, sometimes I talk to them and then I have a conversation with them, Yeah. So we are part of the history. Huh? Say it?
They don't answer back.
They don't answer back, but they speaks to you in a certain language. I enjoy when I go overseas. The first thing I like to do is go to the historical buildings. Historical buildings, anything, museum, old buildings, churches, mosques, anything. Yeah. So within this historic Kampung Glam, there are a few historic buildings, and one which is the Malay Heritage Center, and then there's also a building, a very unique, quiet building owned by a family. And there is a book on this family, and Hidayah is there. Yeah. So, yes, she's the author of the book of Gedung Kuning. So I got so intrigued by this story of the family. I read the book before I embarked on the trip. I read the book and I was inspired by a few things. One is that sometimes when you sleep, you tend to see few things in your head. And that's what when I had conversations with the late Antonio Blanco, what he said, Jeff, this dreamy effect, you know, sometimes it gives a subconscious feeling for you to relate to something. So if you look at this piece of work, it has that kind of, yes, you tend to see clearly, not clearly. And well, I was embarking on this, it was raining very heavily. It was raining very heavily. It was very watery and raining heavily. And this is one of my new works which I tried to experiment with Chinese ink and a bit of wash. Yeah. So I wanted to finish this, but the collector says, no, stop, just leave it, just leave it. So I said, okay, yeah. So I captured the essence of that building. This is one thing I would like to do, and when I look at Hidayah's home, a few things that caught my mind was the features. The features that distinctively Gedung Kuning is the front facade, the entranceway, the window, and the mango tree that which is no longer there. Yeah. So as I speak to you, I'm having goosebumps. Okay? Yeah, because it's just like, you know, having a conversation with a building that has a lot of history, wonderful history. It's a very distinguished Malay family, entrepreneur too, and it's now being used as a commercial thing. So what I'm trying to capture is something that was there before, I say. And when I was doing this, I was feeling very sad. I was very, very sad for the building. Yeah. And more so when I, have more of the stories that came out. So anyway, that is a little bit of my story, and there'll be more works coming on along. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, for Jeffrey, we will see another portrait by him. The lines are even more aggressive, more angry. This one is a bit subtle. While he's doing this, I think he's a bit stable there. Yeah? So you will see him.
Yeah, upstairs there are portraits. This anything about the portraits is that yesterday a friend came out and saw the portraits. He stood there for 10 minutes. I said, what's happening? He said, Jeff, you brought the soul of the person of the portrait into the portrait. So I said, okay, that was yesterday. Maybe today you all just have a look at it and tell me how you all feel when you look at the portraits upstairs, okay?
Okay, next is third generation artist, Rosihan Dahim, specialized in surrealism. So she's one of very, very few surrealist artists in Singapore. So Mr. Rosihan Dahim, can you just...
Okay, my work, my response to surrealism. As you can see that I work from subconscious, and actually if you look at this work, definitely I modify things. So what you see may not be what actually it is. So I treat the world as a dream. So whatever applies, and I look again, like this heritage, when I come into a museum, especially in every museum you see a dome and a history. So what I actually see inside the museum normally is a closed door, everything, right? So it's a history, so you go back into time. So I observed there's a big dome, so it's almost like an embryo, an egg haven't been opened up. So the history is all behind in this museum. So what I developed is to open up the egg, to show that the embryo is open and we keep history inside there, that was inside. So it gives a span of the past. Okay, sorry. Okay, Okay, in this painting, because it's for the exhibition, which I've already been around to know about the owner, I wanted this to also to represent the timeline. And actually, this is flow of the generation that shows the year coming down. If you look closely, it's the shape of Singapore. Actually, it's the history of the Singapore, the mapping coming down. So that I did not tell, because that is part of the heritage that can point to every where in the world. It can be island, can be a country, or even the states or Africa. So it's just a point. And this, of course, represents the observer who observe the point of play where you can see the time of change. So if you know why I see differently, is because I open up the door. I don't like to see things as enclosed. So when I open the door, you can see the sky. So I allow the light to come in. So light is in there. So the sky is open. If you look, actually, the actual thing happening now is all closed. You know, like you are in the room. For me, I modify. I modify things in my mind. I go subconsciously because I do not see things as it is. So everything I move around, I see car. It's not a car. I see something movement, a moving objects. That's all I see. You know, so I don't treat it as real. So that's possibly the way I see things, and that's the reason why I'm influenced by artists like Salvador Dali and Magritte. So this is all the things I evolve and how to appear in most of my works. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is Kid Willow, I call her Wing. She's a very shy artist. She can't speak in public. Excuse her. Again, if you see the mirror image, you see why I display that is a mirror. So you can see that is a common understanding which you can't see. It's transcendental. So that is where you can relate to each other. This is from memory and imagination. So it's something that is really, really personal and very, very spiritual. Yes. Yeah. This is another. He's a very popular man now. Very sought after. He's a photographer by his profession. His hobby to create pinhole camera, which even the young guys would like to do that. This is using analog film, the old film, Mr. Kames, and this is what he came out with, and it's workable. This is Kames Arifin. Yeah, just briefly explain about why you do pinhole camera.
Oh, this is one of my hobby. Actually, not for. I also never think for sale, because my gallery they invite me to come here last year, so I make it. Because this camera I make start from 200, so I don't know if I will sell. So my gallery sell to me, so I'm quite happy. So I now carry on with my job into the pinhole camera. Actually, it's my hobby.
So from just a simple object or apparatus or camera, he explored and he innovated using non-mechanism tool. It's all hand tools, by hand. If you ask me to do that, I don't have the time, I don't have the patience, I will throw them one side. That's the difference between the passion and the labor of love that he put in the work. I mean, it's justifiable.
I didn't use any electric thing. Even somebody buy for me the drill for the electric, I also never use. I use hand one. See, like all my finger, sometimes I use the knife, cut the wood also, use a knife. Then I make the knob also, also use hand and a small saw. I do piece by piece.
Oh, it's very innovative for Kames. And this is the latest work. It's a real snake skin.
Snake skin.
So it's a real snake skin. Yeah, Kames.
You know this, I went to see how he does his work. Piece by piece, he put it together. Now this guy he's an established photographer. He mastered the power of light. He knows what is good light, what is enough light, and what a lot of people try to attempt to make. So he puts a basic technology together with a craft together. It is very interesting because there are a lot of models upstairs also, if you guys have come look at it. And amazingly, this just normal materials that you see, maybe in a small shop, maybe in a hardware shop, Sungai Road, and he puts them together and he created a craft, which I told PM Lee, it's made in Singapore. He was shocked. When we displayed this in Shangri-La, we showed him that this is done by a Singaporean established photographer. And we are very, very happy and honored to have Carto, and he's still evolving. There's different shapes, some like a handbag, some big, some small, some with a handle, and he keep on creating. And the details are evolving and evolving and evolving. It is indeed.
Okay, that's what only so Manji and Adi is from LaSalle. So this is my 27 years junior. LaSalle was not LaSalle. Before was St. Patrick Center run by Brother Joseph. So she's in Canada now. She's famous with this Indian lady because she's sick. So I don't know whether you have seen this work before. It's quite identifiable. So her technique is oil on canvas. Usually is woman. So what is something behind the face, like what Opie was mentioning just now, there's a lot of message written. Yeah. And for Adi is one of the latest work. What this is unconventional because the shape is round. Very rare people go around painting. So what I can see a soldier here, a toy soldier. When we was a kid, we had this soldier. I don't know whether they still have this this cell in the shop. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they still sell them. So he had this polka dot, one of these. A pointillism, but it's in a bigger point, so with a different color. So what he's trying to say, maybe during his childhood, so a layer of paint is overlaid on top of each other. What's interesting about this is it's in round shape. It's not a normal square shape. Okay, before I go to Christian Dust, she's a Malaysian. She came here. She's here. Oh yeah, she's there. So she had just an exhibition in KL, quite big work. And this is one of, not latest, right? This one is, yeah, this is in 2011. We have a couple of her works behind there. So what this reminds me of this cathedral, of a church, of a stained glass work. So I think she tried to portray that in canvas. I think they have really bright colors. So what she did, sorry, Christian does. Can you explain your work?
Okay. My art is a two-edged sword. On one end, I'm acting like the Lorax, voice for the voices, a voice for nature, because I'm very concerned about the rate that we are actually losing our rainforest, especially in Malaysia. So, and then on the other hand, the painting also is my own personal diary about my journey in life. So you see the pathway, and this particular painting is about taking the going off the beaten track. Sorry, coming out of my comfort zone and venturing into a new phase in life, being courageous and being willing to take that journey, only to discover that once you come out of your comfort zone, you always find something really wonderful waiting for you. There's so much to learn. The experiences are rich, and there's always a brighter